All right, all right. Thanks for stopping by. Let's go in the van here. I want to show you my system for taking a hot bath in the van. Yes, there are times I can't put up the shower tent. It's too windy, it's too cold. Maybe I'm not in an area that accommodates for it. So I have to take a hot bath in the van. So I use a 3-pot system. The big pot I put about less than a gallon in, heat it up on the stove. And the smallest pot is for the soap and the water, and the middle pot is for rinsing. And of course, 3 different washcloths, one for my face, one for everything else, and the other for rinsing. There's the stove I heat the water up on. Now, you see there's another pot there. I never use that. I'm not going to mix my pots, you know what I mean? That I cook out of some pots and I bathe out of other pots, and I'm never going to mix that. That's just gross, no matter how much you clean a pot still. You don't want to be cooking in a pot that you've taken a bath in. So here's the Castile soap that I use. I used to use Dr. Bronner's, but this is just about as good and it's a lot cheaper. Get it at Walmart, and it lasts a long time. It only takes about a spoonful for a bath, and you can mix it in a spray bottle if you want. I've done that also, but I'd rather get the water hot and the cloth hot. And this is the curtain that I use. It's a silky curtain that I used for a blackout curtain for a while. I put it down first, because there's going to be dripping water when you're rinsing off in a van. But especially when you start to do your rinse after you've lathered up, there's going to be water that drips. So this curtain is perfect because it catches all the dripping water and it dries out so quick. I can just hang it up with a alligator clip and it dries out in no time. And this is how I set it up. I turn the curtain long ways like this, and you get butt naked and you get to it is what you do. But heat your water up first before you get naked, because it can get cold. But I am right here, right next to the buddy heater while all this is going on, so I stay nice and warm throughout the bathing process. Oh, and I guess I should mention, I don't leave the doors open while I do this. I just open the doors for better lighting. I'll close my doors and put up my privacy panels, and it is a time-consuming process. It really is. I mean, it's much longer than if I was just to jump in the shower. But today the wind was blowing so bad, and it's so cold and rainy, I just didn't want to put the shower tent up. So I decided, hey, I want a hot bath and I want it now, and this is the way I'm going to do it. And I do it this way from time to time. It works fine. It just takes a long time. And when I get through this curtain below here, it is pretty wet. But I just clip it up with an alligator clip, sometimes off the side mirror, sometimes off the ladder rack on top of the van, anything, but it's usually dry within an hour. So it's a good material. That's why I've kept it around, because I couldn't find anything with a faster drying material that's also absorbent. So that's my setup. And this whole system takes less than a gallon of water. And since the pots are metal, I can heat them up directly on the stove, put them right down on the curtain, and it doesn't scorch anything. It works like a pot holder or placeholder. And the Castile soap makes everything so easy. It just rinses off so well. I mean, I don't think I could do this if I was using like a bar of soap. It would be too much hassle to rinse it all off, but the Castile soap is amazing stuff. So that's really the only way I could do this in here is because of the Castile soap. And when everything is all over, the Castile soap goes back in the little cubby pocket in the driver's door, and the 2 small pots fit inside of the big pot, and they hang up back in the left-hand corner of the van on a hook. So everything's out of the floor, out of the way, and I clean it all and get it ready before I put it away for the next time. Now, this method will not be needed much longer because spring and summer is coming. And I won't probably do this at all during the spring and summer because I can just shower right outside of the van with swim trunks on, or I can put the shower tent up. But this is a great method for the winter. When it's really cold outside, this works well. I really like the fact that I can stay right here next to the buddy heater while all this is going on, so my body stays nice and toasty. The whole thing takes about 30 minutes, by the time you heat your water up and then put everything out in position and get all the cloths ready to go. Do that first and it makes the whole system easier. That's van life. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And this is not a bad way. The first time I did it, I didn't really have a good system in order and it was a hassle. But once you get everything organized and put into place before you start your bath, it really makes it simple. You see my towel hanging there to the left, so that's what I dry off with. And when it's all said and done, I will hang up my washcloths. I clip them to the antenna of the van so they'll dry out. And for the towel, sometimes I just hang it over a branch, and if that's not available, I clip it to the other side rear view mirror on the van and let it hang freely in the air and dry out. And once everything gets dried out, it goes back into the van. So this is the system that works for me. I know some people, I've seen YouTube videos, they just use one bucket of soapy water, but I've got to be able to rinse off properly. I don't want to feel that film of soap on me and get my skin dry. It's already very dry climate out here in Arizona anyway, so I don't want to compound the problem by leaving dried soap on my skin. So the rinse process is real important to me. Oh, and as far as shampooing my hair, I buzz all my hair off, so it's only like a 1/4 inch long anyway. So usually I just step outside of the van and I do use shampoo on my head. I don't use the Castile soap. It kind of dries my scalp. And then I just pour a pot of warm water over my head to rinse. I could also rinse my hair in the sink. Since the basin is so big, I could just rinse it that way, and I've done it that way also. But if you have long hair, you may have some problems. See, I always just buzz my hair off with some clippers. I use like the 1/4 inch guard, so my hair is really short, so I don't have a problem. But if you do have long hair, that may be the biggest obstacle you face, is how do you rinse your hair? But I've kept my hair this short for many years. So the shampooing for me is actually the simplest part. I just wet my head a little bit, then rub the shampoo in. I already have my water heated up in a pot, and I just step right outside of the door of the van and pour the warm water over my head and rinse that way. It takes 2 minutes, So the shampooing is actually the simplest part for me because of the short hair. But that'll wrap it up for this one. Until next time, take care, be well, and smash the bell.